this might be a little loud. So I'm approaching Mount Pleasant Cemetery, which is actually a pretty famous cemetery. It's pretty well known here in Toronto, long history. I think it's around the 1800s. I'm going to look that up a little bit later. But I'm in the wind with my trusty sidekick, and we're going to go see if we can find a specific resting place. So stay tuned. Sidekick does not want to participate today. He is yanking as much as possible. We'll see what happens. One thing's kind of interesting. Have you ever wondered why they have like 6-foot high walls on each cemetery? It actually goes back to when the grave robbers used to jump into the cemeteries and start stealing either bodies to resell them, or they would steal objects from the grave. They would dig up people and steal their stuff, which is very unpleasant. So they use these tall walls as like a deterrent so that they would have a more difficult time or be more noticeable when they were about to steal from a grave. So that's why those big fences are there to this day. Cool graves here. Big. And then this one over here is really cool. It's Johnston, but it's actually like a really cool grave. All of these have like really interesting names on them. Oh, I'm in a really quiet area. There's no one around, and I'm in amongst a bunch of like graves with the dog. If anyone asks, I'm just gonna tell them I'm taking a rest, but I just had a really tight chest, and sometimes when that happens, it's a spirit kind of trying to tell me something. So I'm wondering, and it's kind of windy, so it kind of sucks, but if there are any spirits here, if you could tell me into this little device what messages you might have for me. The dog is sniffing too loud. See, this is why ghost hunters don't do things during the day. It's because there's so much noise and people everywhere. And I've got my dog 2 feet from me. And that's why we just don't do that. Respecting graveyard is complete without a half-dead, big, creepy tree with massive branches reaching over the graves. Hey, spooky friends. So I'm doing some content in the middle of a really famous graveyard here in Toronto. Okay, I had to move again. So here with the dog, right? And I stopped some people because they were like looking at their phones, like, you know, like they were searching for something. And I got real excited. I was like, oh, you guys randonauting? And this is why I don't go out in public, guys. They were like, what's that? And I was like, oh, it's like, you know, an app that helps you find really spiritual things and places. It's kind of creepy and cool. It says the girl alone in the cemetery with a large black dog. Anyways, they're like, no. Guys, when I tell you that I just wanted to die and be buried in one of those graves, this shit is real. My social anxiety, a 10. Why do I look so ragged and old? I don't know, but oh my God. Look at this creepy tree. I mean, isn't this the epitome of what you want to see in a graveyard? But like, side note, why is this place so friggin' busy? There's like everybody and their uncle out just going for a jog amongst the dead. Anyways, back to normal stuff. Odin keeps barking at the statue. It's got these like, I guess, dog-looking things that he's afraid of. But it's cool that it has a sword that hasn't rusted, like the bronze has oxidized. This is definitely a newer structure, but it has some really interesting details to it. And like an offering bowl. Oh, it's a Greek one, of course. Has to be Greek. Oh, this is a really large family here in Canada. I'll give you a really brief history on it, but they're responsible for the Toronto maple leafs and a lot of meat plants. And I'm supposing they were Greek because of the statues, but this is a really important monument to Canadian history. Part of the graveyard that it suddenly just got like really dark. I gotta clean my camera. Suddenly got like really dark where I am, and there's like this musty smell, but there's nothing around me. Still got the dog. People riding their bikes everywhere, so can't be that bad. So I found some like backwoods area. I'm being quiet because it's 8 o'clock and apparently this place is closed, but there's like different little grave sites in here. I actually have to leave because they lock the gates and I won't be able to get out, but this is really beautiful. right in the middle of everything. So gorgeous. Some offerings, really cool trees in the middle of the graveyard. Didn't find the grave that we wanted to, but we had a really cool adventure. I heard someone calling my name from behind me in the middle of a graveyard when my dog and I were just alone. It turns out it was one of my old coworkers who was just biking through with his wife. Nothing scares you more than hearing your own name being called in the middle of a cemetery. But we've been in here for 2 hours. I didn't end up finding that grave. We had a really good adventure amongst the dead. So I'm gonna go look at the footage and see if anything creepy happened there. But not every adventure is a creep fest. So spooky. I am about to be locked in the cemetery by myself because I'm trying to get to the front gate, but it's like a ways away. I had no idea that it was closing. And I just thought, oh, how nice it is that I'm walking around and there is no one here. Well, no one, you know, really here. But everyone has, oh, my mic goes way down. So I'm kind of rushing towards the gate because apparently they lock the gates when this place closes. I just thought how weird it is that it's so quiet. Turns out everybody has left, unbeknownst to me. And now I'm walking alone in the cemetery talking to myself. So there's that. It's pretty funny. So I got locked in. I found a security guard and they're gonna come and let me out in like 10 minutes. But I'm locked in to the cemetery. Yay. Whoops. The story is we don't want to lose track of time in a cemetery. You get stuck. You'll never leave. Usually people are dying to get in here. Dark. Get out of the graveyard after about 10 minutes. Someone came and unlocked us, but a skinny guy slipped through, was able to get through, and I was kind of mad because like I wasn't skinny enough to get through the fence. But me and Sidekick have made it, and we're gonna go home and eat some dinner. So nothing too spooky, but kind of neat at the same time. All right, we'll check back soon.